have exclusive vehicles to the map, exclusive weapons. But today what I wanted to focus on was some new information that's come out, some leaked footage that came from a PUBG data mining group, and the user All the News is Good News. Now, I have his channel linked in the description as well as the original video, so definitely go check that out. Give them some love over there because this is a lot of good information that they put out. And I want to make sure that this is clear. This is data mine footage, and All the News is Good News was able to put this on YouTube and give us a preview of what the map should look like. Now, obviously, since this is data mine, this isn't an official video from PUBG Corp. This is a recreation based on the data mine files, so it might not be 100% accurate. But it should be a good representation of what the map is going to look like and what we can expect when it does release. In this footage you can see a lot of different towns, a lot of different cities that they go through, some cool architecture, some really awesome looking environments that you're going to have to traverse through, and you can get a sense of the overall feel of the map. We'll have to see exactly how the loot is going to be in this map as well. The image, the map size itself, is an 8x8 map, kind of like Erangel and Miramar, but the landmass that you'll be able to traverse on is a 6x6 portion of that map. Now, as we all know, Sanhok is a 4x4 map, which makes it a quarter of the size of Erangel and Miramar. So this new snow map, Vikendi, is looking to be somewhere in between Sanhok and Erangel and Miramar. Yeah, just looking through some of this footage, you can see these big cities and the different locations that you'll be able to visit. I like that there's a lot of elevation, so we'll have a lot of elevated combat to go through. You'll be able to have natural cover, whether it's out in the open, in the hills, or whether it's in the towns. There's a lot of elevation to this map. So if you go on Erangel and you go in someplace like Severny or Pachinki, there's a lot of buildings, but it's basically flat. There's no elevated cover just from the roads or barriers or anything like that. You're looking at half walls or buildings in order to have some cover. But in a lot of these little towns and cities, there's nice little stairways, elevated cover just from the natural environment and the curves of the landscape. So I think that's something that's going to suit a player like me and a lot of other players very well. One of the reasons that I like Miramar so much is because of the natural elevated environments where you can take cover behind. You don't necessarily have to be in a building, you don't necessarily have to be behind a rock or behind a tree in order to have some cover. You can kind of move around, use the landscape to flank your opponents so where they can't see you, but at the same time you can keep an eye on your surroundings without being just dead out in the open. You also get some good shots of the frozen lake, and there seems to be some holes in the lake as well. It'll be interesting to see if there's some kind of cold element to where if you fall in the water of the frozen lake or the frozen river, does that damage you in any way? Is there a damage over time mechanic that's going to be added for this? We're just going to have to wait and see. I think that would be a cool thing if you land in the water itself of the frozen parts of the river or the lake. Maybe you take a little bit of damage over time, nothing too drastic or anything obviously, but just something so that it kind of discourages you from hiding underwater or hiding in that area, because that's something that you could do if you had to run across the lake or run across the river. There's a huge monastery area where there's just a lot of sight lines and graveyards and just a whole bunch of stuff, and I think this is going to be a popular place. And then now you have this Cosmodrome, I think it's going to be called, where we have a rocket that's ready to shoot off into space. There's a control tower that you can actually go up into, and you'll be able to see pretty far in a full 360 degree area up in that little control tower. It looks like there's also a tunnel system underneath the rocket, so I think this is going to be one of those awesome landing locations right off the bat. If I had to guess, this is probably going to have a lot of good loot. There's also been some other things leaked as well, so we got some information saying that there should be footprints, or we expect footprints in this map as well, and I think that's going to be something cool in the snow. You'll see vehicle and player tracks in the snow. Whether or not that's going to stay for a certain amount of time, which I imagine after a certain amount of time those tracks will go away. If you're following somebody, you'll be able to track them, and you might even be able to trap somebody by leading them to you with your tracks. There's also been mention of a vehicle that looks like a VW Beetle, but I'm sure that we're going to have exclusive vehicles to this map, whether it's a snowmobile or the Beetle like I said, and we'll also probably have a couple weapons that are exclusive to it. You can see in this flyby here just how vast and open this area is. And last but not least, it was leaked to have a night mode for this map. So what does that mean? Does it mean that it's going to be pitch black? Obviously not. But with the snow on the ground, I think it's going to have enough illumination where we can actually see each other, but it's going to just have a little bit different flair to it. But like I said, these are all leaks, and nothing that I've said is actually confirmed, so you'll have to take this with a grain of salt, but it's pretty cool to see this information. And once again, I want to thank All the News is Good News for getting this footage out here so that we can see it. He was able to data mine this and put it back together to recreate this for us and give us a good view of what the map should look like. If I had to guess, I think this is going to release on December 7th when the PS4 does drop. I don't think it's going to go to test servers. I haven't heard any indication of that. The PS4 release is said to come with the event pass for Vikendi. Obviously that could be a couple weeks delayed. They could just get a pass for that, and then as soon as it comes out they'll be able to purchase it with that code. But everything is pointing to this thing coming out on December 7th, which is next Friday. So I anticipate a ton of news coming out this week, and I'll be sure to cover all of it here for you on the channel. So if you want to stay up to date on everything PUBG, either on console or PC, but mainly I want to focus on what's going to impact the console versions of the game, definitely hit subscribe, and make sure to like the video if you found this information useful, or if you're excited for the new snow map Vikendi. Once again, I have the original link to the channel and the video of All the News is Good News down in the description below, so go over there, show him some love, subscribe to his channel, because it looks like he's putting out some pretty good information about the data mine leaks that he's able to find with these new patches. Remember to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links are in the description below. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time, I'll see you later.